Missing just 10 days in the market can cut your returns in half. Because the biggest gains happen when you least expect them.
Welcome to The Explainer. We're going to talk about something that's on pretty much everyone's mind: money. Specifically, how much should you actually have saved at your age? We'll break down the milestones, but more importantly, we're going to expose the hidden traps that stop most people from ever getting there. So let's just start with a number: $249,900. What is that? Well, that's the median net worth for an American household where the head of the house is between 65 and 74 years old. And yes, that number includes the equity in their home. So just think about that for a second. After a whole lifetime of working and saving and paying down a mortgage, is that enough to live on comfortably for another 20, maybe 30 years? It's a pretty sobering thought, right? And it's exactly why we need to have this conversation. So let's get into it. Okay, here's our game plan for today. We'll start with a quick reality check, then we'll walk through the decades, building that foundation in your 20s, dodging the big hurdles in your 30s and 40s, and then really hitting the gas in those final years. And we'll wrap it all up with a simple compass to keep you on track. All right, section 1, a retirement reality check. Before we can even start talking about goals, we've got to make sure we're all on the same page about what we're actually aiming for. And the key term here is net worth. It's super simple. It's everything you own minus everything you owe. That's it. This is your real financial scorecard. It's the one number that tells you the true story with no fluff. It's like your financial truth serum. Okay, let's jump into the first big phase: building your financial foundation. This is all about what you do in your 20s. Now, in your 20s, the goal isn't to be a millionaire. The median net worth for this age group is around $39,000. But honestly, forget the number. What really matters here are the habits you're building. Things like saving 10 to 15% of what you make, setting up a solid emergency fund, and the big one, the absolute non-negotiable, making sure you get your full 401k match from your employer. And that 401k match, it is the only, and I mean only, 100% guaranteed return you will ever find in the world of finance. Seriously, a 100% return, instantly. If your company offers to match, say, 5% of your salary, and you don't contribute that 5%, you are literally turning down a 5% raise. There is no investment, no stock, no crypto, nothing that can promise you that. It's an absolute no-brainer. Okay, moving on. Now we're getting into the 30s and 40s. This is when your income really starts to accelerate. But it's also when you face the two biggest wealth killers out there. So here are the big benchmarks. By age 30, you're aiming for 1 times your annual salary. By 40, 3 times. And by 50, 6 times. So if you're making, say, 70 grand a year, that means having 70K saved by 30 and 210K by 40. Now I know, those numbers can feel huge, but they are totally doable, as long as you avoid a really common trap. And here is it: lifestyle inflation. This is the big one. You get a raise, so you get a nicer car. You get a promotion, so you buy a bigger house. The problem is, your spending rises right along with your income. You're like a hamster on a wheel, running faster but not actually going anywhere. The key is to make the gap between your income and your spending wider and wider over time. All right, trap number 2 is a bit sneakier. It's the hidden cost of investment fees. Think of your portfolio as a bucket you're trying to fill with water. High fees are like tiny little holes in the bottom of that bucket, constantly draining your wealth drop by drop, so you never even notice until it's way too late. Just look at this. A tiny 1% fee on a $500,000 portfolio costs you $5,000 a year. Compare that to a low-cost index fund at just $150. That's a difference of almost $5,000 every single year. But here's the real kicker. It's not just the $5,000 you lose. It's all the money that $5,000 would have earned for you compounding for decades. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars just vaporized by a seemingly small fee. And this brings us to another huge mistake: borrowing from your future self. Taking money out of your retirement accounts early is a triple whammy. You get hit with taxes, you get hit with penalties, and worst of all, you lose decades of that magical compound growth. This is exactly why that emergency fund we talked about is so crucial. Your 401k is not a piggy bank. All right, let's talk about the final decades. Maximizing your 50s and 60s. This is the home stretch, and there are some really powerful moves you can make here to finish strong. So, the IRS actually gives you a bit of a superpower once you hit 50. It's called a catch-up contribution. It lets you pour way more money into your retirement accounts than you could when you were younger. Think of it as a final sprint to the finish line, a chance to really turbocharge your savings and make up for any lost time. And then there's the big one, the Social Security decision. When you decide to start taking it, has a huge, permanent impact on your income for the rest of your life. You can take it early, at 62, but your check will be smaller forever. But for every single year you wait past your full retirement age, all the way up to 70, the government gives you a guaranteed 8% raise. That's a massive difference over the course of a long retirement. So, we've walked through the different stages of life. Let's pull it all together and talk about your financial compass, the core principles that will always point you in the right direction, no matter what. Look, there are a lot of reasons people don't make it financially. Things like just not knowing this stuff, putting things off, getting buried in high-interest debt, that lifestyle inflation we talked about. Life happens. But knowing what the landmines are is the first and most important step to not stepping on them. But you know what? The path to actually succeeding is shockingly simple. It's not about being a stock market genius or timing the market. It's about these 5 things. Spend less than you make, save on a regular schedule, save more as you earn more, use low-cost investment accounts, and then you just let time and compounding do their thing. And really, that's the secret. The plan itself is simple, almost boring. The hard part, the real challenge, it's having the discipline to stick to that boring plan when there's a million shiny things trying to distract you and get you to spend your money. So thanks for joining me for this explainer. I want to leave you with one question to really think about. Knowing where you are right now, what is the one habit you can change starting today that will completely alter where you end up financially? Just thinking about that. Well, that's your first step.
So the real secret isn't timing the market, it's staying in it. Subscribe if you want to master the mindset of real investors.